Am I hearing this right? Did they just say Pee Wee Herman passed away today? Dang, man. If that's true, man, come on. Pee Wee Herman? Pee Wee Herman was part of my childhood, man. Pee Wee Herman was. I remember one of the first movies I remember going to see with my mom. Well, it was two movies. One was Arthur, I think it was Arthur 2. I went to see with my mom when I was a kid. But another movie that I remember really well, and then E.T. Maybe it's 3. I remember going with my whole family. This was doing. It's funny. This was back in the day. It might have been around Christmas time. It had to be around Christmas time or Thanksgiving. It might have been Thanksgiving, and E.T. had just came out, and we went to go see E.T. when I might have been maybe 4, maybe 3 or 4. But I vaguely remember my whole family, my cousins, all us going to see E.T. Anyway, that's beside the point. But one of the movies that I remember begging my mama to go see was Pee Wee's Big Adventure in the 80s. And that's one of my fondest memories. Me and my mama going, because a lot of times me and my mom and my sister would go. My 2 older brothers were already out of the house and in college and, about to be adults. And, it would be my mom and my sister. We would go to the movies. And this particular year, my sister had just went to college. She was a college freshman. So she went off to college. So it was just me and my mom. And my mom used to love the movies. And and that's why I think I get my fondness for movies, is those memories of my mom going to the movies. And I wanted to go see. I remember seeing the commercial of Pee Wee's Big Adventure. No, I'm sorry. They had the TV show, I'm thinking, first. Or I'm thinking the TV show came after the success of the movie. I believe it did. But I remember going to the movies to go see Pee Wee's Big Adventure as a kid, and I thought that was the best movie in the world, man. I was like, and I was a Pee Wee fan. So then when the TV show came out, they had Pee Wee Herman's, I forgot the name of Pee Wee. It was Pee Wee Herman's Pee Wee's Playhouse. Pee Wee's Playhouse. Which, for you young people out there, we had a thing called Saturday. Right now, y'all can pull up cartoons on your set. Y'all can watch cartoons on your homeboy got Team Jordans on. It was funny. Mexican people, y'all love Team Jordans. Anyway, he had a TV show called Pee Wee's Playhouse that came out back in the day, back in in the 80s, late 80s, I believe, because of the success of Pee Wee's Big Adventure. He came out with the TV show. They gave him a deal with the TV show. And that was one of my favorite shows, man. It was so wacky and corny and weird. And I remember it was come on every Saturday morning. It was it came out around maybe 10:30 in the morning. But I remember that show, man. Dang. Paul Rubin. I remember Paul Rubin when he played in the Cheeks, and this is before he came out with Pee Wee Herman, but he was kind of crafting the whole Pee Wee Herman ideal, and he was kind of nerdy. It was Cheech and Chong's next movie. He played the hotel customer service guy. Dang, Paul Rubin's gone. Wrestling, wow, Pee Wee Herman. That's when you know you're starting to age, when all the people that you grew up with, that you watched on TV when you was a little kid, they start to pass away. Like Benson, and I think Ingrid, who played the Smart Aleki's secretary to the president on Benson, she passed away, but she lived a good life. She was 95 or 91 or something like that. She made it to her 90s. The very few of us that make it, that we would love to make it to the 90s club of life before we check out of here. She made it to the 90s club, Sidney Poitier. Of course, I was, that's way before my time. I don't want to age myself that old, but I'm just saying, as far as like the 90s club, as far as making it to 90 years old. Betty White, she passed away. That was one of my mom's favorite shows. It just makes you know that you're getting older when you see the ones that you grew up watching, like Paul Rubin pass away. Wow. Dang. You know, we had Tony Bennett passed away. He was 90, 91, I believe. He made it to the 90s club. You know, I want to make it to the three digit. I just to say I'd live to be 100. You know what I'm saying? I think that'd be fly just to make it to 100. You know, because especially being a black man, that is you make it a black man making it to 100 in America with the food and the violence. Shoot, that's you a unicorn. You know what I'm saying? And the bad health, you a unicorn if you make it to 100. So that's a blessing, you know. But I was watching somewhere, man, that human beings, if we really stuck to our natural diet, and when I say natural diet, like what God put here for us to eat, like naturally, like fruits, vegetables, nuts, everything that grows out the ground. When it comes to protein, you know, fish, you know, chicken. If we stuck to our natural diet of, you know, the herbs out of the ground, if we stuck to our natural diet, we can live to be, shoot, I'm hearing, man, people were living to be 200-300 years old. Like being 100 was like being a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Like people were living that long. You know, you gotta think back in those days, there was no McDonald's. There was no grocery store you can get your food out of that's all processed and boxed and then put all kind of chemicals and preservatives to keep it, you know, lasting longer. People would go out, hunt and kill and gather vegetables right at the ground, cook dinner, and people would eat once a day. You know, you go out and hunt, because that's how you're supposed to eat. It's only this other diet that we have. This is not pertaining to people, you know, to Paul Ruin, rest in peace to Paul Ruin. I'm just saying, as far as us living, people used to live to be 200-300 years old, dude. You know what I'm saying? People dying at 100 was like premature. That was like, oh my God, he died so young. You know, now it's like normal, like you die at 100. You know, so you make it to 100. You die at 50. People like or 80. You like, oh man, you lived a good long life. You know what I'm saying? Or 85. So yeah, but you got to think back in those days. You know, they didn't fry food. You know, I don't think they had oil to fry food like that. So anything that you would kill as far as meat, you would just take it and put it over the, you know, put it in a pan and just put it over the fire and just cook it, or stick a stick in it and just heat. You know, you would heat your fish or put it like in that thing. They would clean the fish and then put it like in this like flat thing and then let the fire just cook it. And then flip it over, you know, and let the fire cook it. You know, it was, you know, there was no deep fried, you know, in vegetable oil fish like we eat now every day. You know, there was no fried chicken. You know, you would kill a chicken, clean the chicken, you know, wash it down and throw it, you know, season it up the best you can with the herbs that grew from the ground. And then you would just cook it on the fire. And then you would gather your vegetables, wash it, chop it up. That's your vegetables and your meat. I think I'm gonna do that. I think that's gonna be my new diet. I'm gonna try the eat what God put here diet. I just invented it just now. Anyway, rest in peace to Paul Woomer, man. I'm been on a tangent on most of my videos I do. But legend, dang, that's one of my childhood. Dang, man, Pee Wee Herman. They even had a rap song about Pee Wee was so fly, or he was so popular back in the day. I shouldn't say, well, he was fly. Pee Wee was cool to a lot of little kids like myself at the time in the 80s. You know, Pee Wee was cool. I mean, it's so cool. They had a song called Hip Hop, one of the first hip hop songs that came out like in the mid 80s. I think, matter of fact, this is one of the first it wasn't Run DMC, but this was my first introduction to hip hop. They had a song called the Pee Wee Herman. I forgot the name of the group who they were some young cats. I don't even know where they were from, but they had a song called Pee Wee. It was a hip hop, and the beat was actually pretty fly. But it's a song. They had a song called Pee Wee Herman back in the day. Look it up. You probably find it on YouTube. I believe it was like a dance too. It was called Do the Pee Wee Herman. Look it up. Rest in peace to Paul Rubin.